and we are coming to you live from the Sultan Bahu comeback, Fete happening here at Nazareth, and it's hot and happening. But it's not just about that. And as I told you earlier, it is a fete with a purpose, where you in turn come spend here, and all the proceeds that get made out of that go back into the projects. So you're not just coming here for only just to have fun with your family, but there's definitely a defined need where you in turn, by having fun with your family, connecting, reconnecting with all those people that you haven't seen for a while, you are giving back in many directions. And to give us more insight into that today, we're going to be getting some real insight from Zaid Davids. So he's going to be giving us really more information about the projects and the real heart and essence about the Heal a Heart campaign. So over to Zaid.
Chief. Right. Thank you so much, Nafeesa, for the introduction on behalf of Salam Media. And from the Sultan Bahu Center office and the team, my name is Zaid, and I hope that I'm going to do you justice with our first presentation for the next few days. So I think very important for us to start off by remembering the reason that we are here in the first place, the reason that this fete exists. Alhamdulillah, this year we are actually celebrating the 20th annual family fete. And for the last 20 years, the fete has existed for one reason and one reason alone. And that's to allow us to raise the funds that we need so that we can go out into the communities and heal hearts through our various projects. And that's what we are here to promote. Now, in the last few years that I've been part of the Sultan Bahu Center, I've been very privileged to take part in the majority, if not all, of the drives that we've done in the communities, whether it was through our cataract project, whether it was our feeding schemes, whether it was the dialysis clinic, or the learning centers, or the others. And there's one thing that really just stands out that's crucially important for us to understand if we intend to make a real difference in the community. And that is the importance of education. You know, for the entire year, last year in 2021, we had a weekly feeding scheme that was run throughout the country, from Johannesburg to Cape Town and Durban. And every week we go out into these various communities, whether it was Cottonville in Durban, whether it was Slovo in Johannesburg, or Langlagte, or Kapteinsklip in Cape Town. You distribute these meals and you give these meals to these people, but when they leave after they receive that punnet of food, they still go home to sleep in the same shack. They still go home to the same environment. And they still have to accept the circumstances that surround them because they don't have access to the resources they need to change that. And that's what's most important. How do we empower them with the skills and the knowledge they need to really make a difference? Hence, education. Education is truly the only way that we can change the circumstances of those in needy communities. So, what I'd like to do is I'm going to go through a brief presentation that's going to speak to what education is currently like in South Africa and what it is that we at the Sultan Bahu Center believe we can do to be part of the positive change that's going to bring betterment to our needy communities. So one of the first statistics that I think is very important for us to understand is that in South Africa, we have a country that's home to 19.6 million children. That 19.6 million children makes up about 35% of the population of our country. Reports have shown that students who have attended school for 5 years, a minimum of 5 years, barely have a basic understanding of math. Right? There's a study that was done. Through a particular group, and what they found was that there's 38.4% of children aged 0 to 4 years old who have attended a preschool, right? Some sort of preschool or daycare system, right? But in terms of parents' involvement in early education of their children, only 46.8% of parents say that they do not read with their children in the evenings or at home. 43.15% say that they do not color or draw with their kids. So their kids, how are children learning if we are not taking part actively in our own homes with our kids? I mean, we're talking about making a difference in the community and in needy communities. What difference are we making in our own homes if we're not even taking part in our children's education? Actively taking part. So this is very important. Right? Now, I'm not too sure how accurate this particular statistic is, but this one says that there's about 79% of grade 6 math teachers do not have the content knowledge to be teaching at their respective level. I'm going to say that again. 79% of grade 6 math teachers do not have the content knowledge to be teaching at their respective level. So what does it tell you about the standard of education that our children are actually receiving in their schools? So in South Africa, it's compulsory for us to go to school up to at least grade 9. But even if that is the case, there are so many schools in our country that do not have access to adequate resources and perhaps even educators that meet the standard that they need to receive education in order to be able to leave the school environment and actually be able to become positively impacting citizens of the country. Now, why does this have to matter to us here at the Sultan Bahu Fete? Because we need to understand that if we know that there's a problem in our country, particularly with regards to poverty, then the only way that we can make a difference and change that, obviously it's something that will take a lot of time, is through the system of education. So how is the Sultan Bahu Center adding value to that? Well, over the last more than 10 years already, the Sultan Bahu Center has been running projects like the madrasas, and we've also been supporting a primary school in Cape Town called Muhammadiyah Primary School. It's a school from grade R up to grade 7 that the Sultan Bahu Center has been supporting for the last, I think it's almost 13 years now. Right? But more recently, we all know what's happened with the last 2 years. We haven't had a fete for the last 2 years because of COVID-19. And as a result of COVID-19, we all know of people who have lost their jobs as a result of what happened during that period of time. And of course, we're still experiencing it now to some degree. But what's really important is that during that time, the Sultan Bahu Center recognized that there was a gap that needed to be filled in terms of education. And so what did we do? We stepped up to the plate and we decided to put together the SPC learning centers. With the SPC learning centers, we now teach classes, or we have a course that teaches basic computer literacy, something that's seriously lacking in our country. Right? We also currently have a dressmaking course as well. The dressmaking course was the first course that we started with back in 2020. And then in early 2021, we opened the doors to the SPC basic ICT course as well. Alhamdulillah, sometime thereafter, we also open up our classes in Durban as well. And the intention is that with time, we want to be able to duplicate this project not only to other areas within Johannesburg and Durban, but we also want to be able to take that as far as Cape Town as well. But in order for us to be able to do that, we need the support of the community. Hence the reason for this fete, and hence the reason for us being so grateful for you supporting this event. Right? So what's the plan with the learning centers? In terms of the future of the learning centers for the Sultan Bahu Center, our ultimate vision is that we envision it becoming a college of its own, a college that teaches accredited courses over a wide variety of different fields to students from these different cities, whether it's Johannesburg, Durban, or Cape Town. Also very importantly with the Sultan Bahu Center is that I used to sit in the classes sometimes. I had the fortunate opportunity doing all the media. I used to sit in the classes and record while they were doing it. And one of the key things that I felt was really different about the way the classes were given is that we didn't just focus on the education itself. It wasn't just about the course. It wasn't just about learning how to use Excel and Word and PowerPoint. But there were key moments in the classes where the facilitator would engage the students about how they feel the community needs to be improved. And in those moments in the classes, it was an ideal opportunity for students from completely different backgrounds to see that they share views and they share beliefs in the understanding that our communities need help. And it's when we have these interactions with one another and we realize that there are other people that believe something needs to be done. And if we can align our vision, we can align our mission on making a difference, maybe something can actually be done. So I'm going to make one example. During the time when we were running the first dressmaking class, there was one particular student who, after having graduated from the course, she actually went and opened up her own alteration store. She started her own business. And this was someone who had no source of income whatsoever before having entered the SPC dressmaking course. And this is the impact that education can have. But what's very important is that it ripples beyond just herself. Because now with that skill, she can add value to the people in her community. She can teach others to do the same thing. Or she can add value in other ways. So she can become an inspiration for other ladies in her community. She can become an inspiration for other individuals to also step up and decide that it doesn't matter how old I am, it doesn't matter how many years have passed in my life, I can still get up and learn something new and make a difference. And that is what the Sultan Bahu Center's learning centers are about. And what we urge you as our guests, as our patrons at the Fete, we urge you to show your support. And the way that you can do that is, please, there are key locations at this venue where you can go and make a donation. But better than that, you can become a monthly donor to the Sultan Bahu Center projects. And the easy way for you to do that is to visit the SPC website, which is www.spc.org.za. And under donate, you have the option to become a monthly donor. And that donation can be just as little as 50 Rand a month. So we urge you, please, show your support so that we can expand on these projects and we can do more work in the communities and expand the education that's needed. Thank you very much. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, and that was Zaid Davids giving us a full idea of what's to expect from Sultan Bahu. And we want to thank you for joining us on Salam Media to be able to give people, I think, should we say, a holistic version of what we're made of. And of course, and I say that because I also avidly give back when I can, and to show people the essence of why they need to come here. So we want to thank you for shedding some light on that and hoping to join you again tomorrow where we discuss other projects. So what we're telling all our viewers out there today, let's leave them with a message to entice them to come in tomorrow and join us with live streaming, but not just with that, to be able to get the essence of the thing. And as I said earlier, to all the viewers, is that when they come here, they're coming with a purpose. Because what's happening is whatever they're spending here gets utilized towards the projects. So they're not just coming here for no reason. They're coming to have fun, but at the same time, they're also giving back towards a very, very needy purpose.
Yeah, I think to sum that up very quickly, very importantly, before I joined the Sultan Bahu Center, I worked in many fields prior to that. And it was always very difficult to actually go out and make a difference yourself. You're so consumed by your daily life that it's difficult to go out and make a difference. So when you come and support the Sultan Bahu Center, you are allowing the Sultan Bahu Center to act as your tool to make a difference in the communities. Because we know that you can't go out and do it yourself. So we're saying, come through to the Sultan Bahu Center Fete, come through to the Johannesburg Expo Center, show your support, enjoy yourself. There's going to be amazing events, not only on the stage, but elsewhere as well. We've got the Digi Hunt where you can win a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox as well. Make your way down and come and enjoy the weekend with the Sultan Bahu Center.
Jazakallah, that was very educational for us, and I think it's given us more essence to what we needed to know. But of course, join us tomorrow again with the Salam Media team and Sultan Bahu Center to be able to give back in many directions and bring out that essence. And we are going to be live streaming tomorrow, so do tap into us for some really eventful fun. There's lots happening as far as entertainment is concerned. I gave you a breakdown earlier when I started up, and I'm saying, keep watching us on Facebook, follow the Instagram and YouTube, and get in touch with us. But also come and experience the experience for yourself. So thank you so much. Do join us tomorrow from myself, Nafeesa Dangor, the Salam Media team, and the Sultan Bahu team. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.